Hey everybody, this is Gwen Johns from All Access Network Television, and on behalf of all of us here, we want to welcome Jeremy Cotter and his premiere episode of Twisted Tales. So here we go.
Welcome to Twisted Tales.
Twisted Tales. Twisted Tales. Hell, blood and bones and no trails. Twisted Tales. Hell, who got teeth and drags it?
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Jeremy Cotter, the very first premiere episode of Twisted Tales coming to you this evening. I can't wait to have my very special guest on this evening. He is an author of a great book called Downloading for the Dead, and he is also a fellow podcaster here on the All Access Network for Paranormal Unveiled. My special guest is a good friend of mine, Mr. Nathaniel Elwell, and I'm really looking forward to talking. Hey, there he is. Hey, Nate, how are you doing tonight,
What's
man?
going on, brother? I'm doing well, man. How are you?
You know, fantastic. The first show, got the the adrenaline kicking tonight. So it's a heck of a good time, and
let me tell you, man. I am so honored to be your inaugural guest. Like, this means the world to me. You have no idea. I know how difficult it is to start a podcast. And when you choose that first guest, you choose it from the heart. You want somebody you really want on the show.
I really agree with that. And I got to say, man, you were the perfect choice because you actually helped me decide to finally settle down and get the show going on the road. We had numerous conversations about that. Hey, Jeremy, nice to see you, man.
Jeremy,
Thanks for joining us tonight. Morgan's here tonight. I'm really thankful for everybody. Hey, nice to see you, man. So I want to ask you a little bit of your background as far as you've been in the paranormal for a long time now. Could you, when did you get started in the paranormal? Like, when did you start?
Well, first, I want to know why in the fuck your theme song is better than mine.
Listen, man, your show has been around for a long time. The reason my theme song is so good is because it was made by the awesome Danny Radical from the Radicals, two very close personal friends of both of ours. And he really kicked it out of the park, And,
no, he did. He knocked out of the park. And Gwen, if you haven't already, could you please put up the disclaimer for language?
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. He
knocked it out of the park, dude. Let me tell you, like, I thought I had the best theme song, and now I am in contention. Like, I think yours is better, to be honest.
I appreciate that. I really do. It really fits the genre of the show, which Twisted Tales is basically. This show can go in any direction it wants to. Hey, Case, nice to see you tonight. And it can go in any direction. Hey, Russ. Oh, thank God.
Russ. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I'm going to go to see everybody who's coming in tonight. Hey,
how's it going out there in Wisconsin? Having an amazing turnout.
I am so thankful to everybody who takes an opportunity to come out and talk to us. But going back to my original question,
so my background.
How did you get started in the paranormal? Give me a little background on
you. From a young age, I went through a lot of different stages in my life, right? And so we actually here in Hampton, New Hampshire, had an apartment building that was rumored to be haunted. And my brother would get up at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. And mind you, at this time, he was like maybe 8 or 9 years old.
Awesome.
And he would roll marbles down the staircase.
Oh, wow.
And no one knew why. He would tell my mother that, well, there was an old lady that asked him to roll marbles down the staircase with him. And so I cannot say that that's what got me into the paranormal, because I was, if he was 9 or 8, then I was 5 or 6. But what got me into the paranormal was I used to study Wicca. I still study Wicca, but at one point in time, I studied a form of Wicca known as Vodun, which is technically Wicca is black magic.
Right.
And I created a voodoo doll for a friend of mine that I felt that had wronged me. because there was a personal situation that he got involved with where he had no issues getting involved. And he used to be like, when I say a close friend, I would consider him family. Like, he used to come and stay at my house every other weekend and stuff. We chill, we play video games, and and all that good stuff. And he crossed a line that I felt that he shouldn't have crossed. And so, given my knowledge that was passed down to me by my grandmother, I created the voodoo doll.
Oh, wow.
And I had a little bit of his fabric from shirts that he had left there, and I did my thing, and well, it backfired.
Oh.
And anyone out there who knows the laws of Wicca, the rule of return. Anything that you do to another, if it's in malice, will return to you tenfold.
The 3x3, yeah.
And that's how it works. And let me tell you, a week after I made this voodoo doll with ill intent, my pit bull Stormy died.
Oh, wow.
She used to sleep in my room every single night, and it could have been old age. So I'm just going to chalk it up to happenstance on that one, okay? Could have been old age. But she got to the point where she couldn't control her facilities, and she had an accident on my bed 2 nights in a row.
Oh, man.
And I was like, what am I going to do? So I came home from work that night. I showered, got changed, got dressed, got ready for bed, went to bed, and Stormy, of course, trampled down the hallway in like a fucking happy stance. And I'm like, no, you can't come in here tonight.
Yeah.
And I sat there and watched her walk down the hallway, and she would constantly turn her head looking at me as though I was going to change my mind.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't. The next morning, my father woke me up at 4:20, I think it was. He found Stormy curled up in a ball underneath an end table, and she had passed.
Oh, man, that's sad to hear. Yeah. But that's quite a crazy beginning to the whole entire paranormal experience,
So I kind of feel like the voodoo doll that I created, which for the record disappeared and I never found it, has a lot to play into that. Obviously, I hold some kind of guilt towards myself because I could have let her come and stay in the room. I could have done that.
True.
But I didn't because I had a girlfriend at the time and I didn't want her peeing in the bed. You get it.
I understand. Yeah.
But I can tell you that in the month following, there were scratch marks appearing on the footboard of my bed. So anyone out there who has a bed that has a footboard, they know that it's not a headboard. It kind of extends down to the floor.
Of course, yeah.
And those scratch marks were not there before she died. I would have noticed. And also, my closet door was kind of like a French style door. So it's one of those ones that kind of expand, open, and collapse.
Yeah.
And so I had a latch lock on it. I am OCD about having doors closed. I don't like open doors. I went to bed one night. I think it was the second day after she died. And I felt this pulling on my blanket at my feet. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Kicked my foot. And I'm like, it was whatever. I ignored it. It happened again. And I'm like, fuck, Stormy, stop. And I kicked my foot back. And my foot hit something solid. And then it registered in my head. Stormy's not in the room. She passed away 2 days ago.
Of course.
So what the fuck did I just kick? And then I hear this, I'm not going to say it was demonic, but I'm going to say very deep, gravelly voice.
Yeah.
Say my name. And once I'm not going to sit there and tell you, I was not involved in the paranormal at this time, so I didn't have the instinct to roll over and just instantly investigate, right?
Of course.
So I sat there for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, what do I do? I finally mustered up the balls to roll over, grab my flashlight that I had on my bedstand, and turn it on.
Yeah.
Nothing in the room. Couldn't see anything. But the closet door that I know for a fact that I latched when I went to bed was wide open. And then over the next few months, it kind of escalated. I started hearing scratches, and that's when I noticed the scratch marks on my bed. I started hearing tapping on my window every morning, 3 a.m. on the dot, 3 taps of threes. And I also started having very vivid and very violent nightmares of myself dying in various ways.
Wow. You know,
And
that's
the tapping on the window thing, if I was telling someone that story, they would have told me I was crazy. But I could tell you right now that I have 6 witnesses that I invited to come and stay in my house that can corroborate that story.
that's amazing.
Because they themselves heard the tapping on the window. And when I opened up the blinds, there was no one there.
You know, sometimes our adventures in the paranormal start in the weirdest of places, you know, and
They
you
do.
know, they really, really do. I mean, mine just happened out of the blue one day when my wife wanted me to go on an investigation, whether or not I was a skeptic. I was a cynic, pretty much. I used to poke fun at the TV shows and stuff like that. I mean, and you're like,
We all do.
and she's like, let's go to the S.K. Pierce Haunted Mansion out in Gardner. And I'm like, okay. And that's when I had my very first experience with my very first public investigation. And you know, my journey is a completely different one than yours, but yeah, and I would probably be scared if there's something like that happened to me, as far as hearing those knocks and feeling something tugging on the sheets and the claw marks. It obviously told you that maybe the voodoo doll was a bad idea. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it taught me. And it taught me that the rule of return is real.
You know?
And I wasn't necessarily afraid by it. I was more unnerved because I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't comprehend it.
Yeah, I agree. And my first experience was the same thing. I mean, I'm like, what is that? A shadow figure? What on earth is something staring at me? I didn't quite understand it. Hey, thank you, Len. A crazy shirt, you know, paranormal, anime, horror. It's the jam, you know.
And there was more to the story because the spirit followed me for several years.
Oh wow.
After I got married to my ex-wife Teresa, she was pregnant, she had just given birth to my daughter Danny. At that point in time, I was working the night shift at McDonald's of all places, and I would get off of work and I come home about 3 a.m. I would pull into the driveway. Mind you, we lived in a trailer park that when I say it was in the middle of nowhere, I mean there was one street light, and after 8 p.m. the police department closed. So I'm talking about there's no one around. And I would pull in and I would see, because we had a bay window that had like the kind of like the pane of glass here, 2 panes here, 2 panes here.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would see shadows moving when I come home from work. And I'm like, why is Teresa still awake? That's the only person I could think of that would still be awake. And I would go inside, unlock the door. No one was awake at all. And mind you, my brother actually lived in the same exact trailer before I did. And he pre-warned me that beware of the bathroom and the kitchen.
Wow.
Because they have something attached to them. But I'll be honest with you, you can't segregate locations. If a place is haunted, the place is haunted. It's going to go throughout the location.
Exactly.
It's not just going to be in 2 different spots. But I can tell you that I never took a shower in that house, that I did not have the freaking shower curtain opened halfway, because I felt like someone was watching me.
Yeah, keep one eye open. That's for sure.
And so the whole thing that goes into this, and the reason I'm telling you this story, is because I came home from work that night and I saw the shadow moving as typical. I come inside and I'm like, well, there's no one awake. I took vacation, so I'm off for the week. I stayed up a little bit late playing some Final Fantasy, I think it was 7. For anyone out there who is a gamer, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, great games. But I went back to bed and went to lay down. And this is where everything kind of took a sideways turn. Because I knew I fell asleep, but I felt like I was awake. And it's something that's called sleep paralysis. Anyone out who has ever experienced it, it is the most terrifying thing that you will ever experience. I woke up, couldn't move, and I felt this weird, ominous pressure on my chest and my throat, like I was being choked. So, some people may call it an old hag attack. And when I was finally able to shake off the feeling of this not being able to move,
Yeah.
I saw at the foot of the bed, and mind you, I told you there's one street light on this road, so I'm talking about a room that is blacker than black.
Right.
I saw something that was darker than black,
Oh, wow.
standing at the foot of the bed, watching me. And it drifted backwards, and when I say drifted, it did not walk. It did not do a backward strut. I'm telling you, like the way you watched it, it was undulating. It was floating into the hallway. And when it hit the hallway, the light bulb got extremely bright, and then it shattered.
Yeah.
And my daughter was one room away. So instantly, glass on the floor or not, I get up, I jump out of bed, and I run down there to make sure she's okay. There's nothing.
Oh my God. That's this is like something that you could see in a horror movie. I mean, these are the kind of things that you see in a lot of.
Absolutely. And 2 months later, that's when I founded the Southeastern Ghost Research Association. I bought my first book, and I decided that I wanted to research and investigate what happened to me, so that way I could help other people with their experiences.
That's amazing, man. That really, really is. I mean, you're turning something that is quite scary, like the whole sleep paralysis and the shadow figure moving along the edge of your bed, and everything you went through in this house, and you used it as a catalyst to move forward and get your own group going and to help people. That's an amazing thing. It really, really is. You know. And,
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it wasn't a terrifying experience, because it was.
No, but you use that terrifying experience to help you help other people, you know,
Right.
in similar situations. So it seems like it had to happen for a reason. You know what I mean?
Did. I'm sure it did.
Well,
I can't say what the reason was. Hey, Lauren, I see you down there. I can't say what the reason was, but I can tell you that it absolutely happened for a reason. And yeah, it terrified me at the time. But when I look back at it, I'm not going to lie to you. Telling you the story still gives me goosebumps. Like, I don't know if you can see my hair standing up or not, but just telling the story gives me goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. Lee just wrote that Barry Fitzgerald wrote a book about dark entities, and you keep a bright light source near you, especially if dark investigations. The book is called The Influence, apparently.
Yeah, no. Barry Fitzgerald, amazing, very smart guy.
You know, I've never had the sleep paralysis, but I've actually stayed in a location where my wife and I were in one of the bedrooms staying overnight, and this humongous shadow figure of this guy who looked like he could have been Andre the Giant's brother. I mean, that's how big the shadow was standing in the corner of our room, you know. Hey, even my wife just popped on for a second. That's cool, you know.
Hey, hello. Sorry, I'm trying to read this comment.
Oh, Sarah had it happen to her as well.
Exactly. That's exactly what it feels like, is you feel like you're being compressed into your own body. You feel like your lungs just don't operate anymore. You have a shortness of breath, almost like you're being choked. That's exactly what it feels like. And it's one of the scariest fucking things you ever experienced if you've never experienced it.
No, I mean, I've been scratched and bruised and pushed up against walls, and I'm a big guy myself. I'm like 6'3", almost 400 pounds. And when I get shoved up against the wall, I know something's a little bit stronger than it probably should be, you know?
I would have paid you for 5'2", 125.
You know, maybe in another lifetime, you know. Well, you know something. I noticed in the background you have your book back there, and I know you just launched it recently. What brought that all on? Like, as far as like working with all the different types of devices and wanting to, you know.
So for me, the way that this worked was I had no intention of writing a book, for the record. I didn't. Um, I'm one of those people that for me, you have to have the tangible stuff. But when you work in the paranormal, 80% of what we work on is sensory devices, right?
That's right.
So you have REM pods, you have motion sensor music boxes, you have
K2s, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
K2, all of the. So in theory, your cell phone has more sensors within it than any other device you could ever buy on the market. They have touchscreen sensors, they have motion sensors. Hence the reason when you pick up your phone, your screen turns on.
That's true.
They have small magnets that control the radio. They also have barometers. That's how they know how you track how many flights of stairs you climbed if you track your whole fitness thing. So my thought here was, if so many people out there do not like paranormal applications and they
Right.
don't understand how they work,
Mhm.
then how can they dislike them? And so I decided to start testing this on my YouTube.
Okay.
I went out and I downloaded some apps and I thoroughly test them, and this kind of came into fruition that I wrote a book about it.
That's awesome. It really is. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read it because trying to get me to sit in front of a book is like trying to chase a kitten with a laser cat toy, which I'm sure my wife's been doing out in the living room while we're sitting here talking because she has a little kitten.
I should try this shit with Morgan and see if she chases it.
Wow. You know, it's
I'll
it
get
really
beat
is.
for that later.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm sure you will, man. It's okay though, because
Yeah, so the whole premise of the book,
yeah.
which is called Downloading for the Dead, the forward is written by Matt Warner. Jeremy, I know you know who Matt is.
Yep, I have him coming on as a guest in a few weeks from now. Yeah.
Amazing guy. He's a little rough around the edges,
Aren't we all? Yeah.
but he knows what the fuck he's doing. I'll tell you that.
I
So
agree.
the whole premise of the book is, I want to tell people out there that there are applications that you possibly could use as a secondary tool. I'm not saying they're your first tools, right? Secondary tools for paranormal investigation, for data collection. That's all this is. And if you have to go through and cycle through all these different applications and you find some that are great, you find some that are crap, I've already done the legwork for you.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot that are not that great. I mean,
Oh,
a lot of
trust
them.
me, the Spirit Board 3D app. Oh my goodness. I would have rather.
Hey, James. Sorry about that.
I can't make that. It's an insensitive comment. I can't say that. But I had a very good comment for that. But no, the Spirit Board 3D app was absolutely horrible, which is mentioned in my book. But the Ghost Hunter M2 app, that one really impressed me. And Michael Weber, who created the app, actually loved my review so much that he sent me a free copy of the Ghost Science M3 to test on season 2.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man.
And so this is what makes this book different, is I didn't just go off my own opinions. I actually contacted the app developers and asked them how their apps work. I asked them, well, what fluctuations are you looking for? What is the detection motive? And I've got the details. I got the deets. So it makes it more of a experimental project. I'm not saying that anything in my book, take it, download it, and use it as your primary tool. Because let's be honest, there is no primary tool when it comes to investigating the paranormal. We exist in a world of pseudoscience. So there is nothing that we use as far as any paranormal investigator. And it really pisses me off when people go out and they buy a REM pod that costs $98, roughly. If you don't know what the fuck it does, you do realize you're basically buying a Junior Thermain kit that's fancily packaged, and you can buy a Junior Thermain kit on Amazon for $20 and build your own REM pod.
Oh, well. At least you've done the research, obviously, and I'm sure that I just saw a comment that Christy had read your book, and she said that it changed her whole approach. Yep, there she is. After reading your book, the outlook and opinions have changed. She's grateful for the books.
No,
So,
I think it will give anyone a different outlook. If you're looking for cheap paranormal equipment, apps are the way to go. I think that so many people focus on you have to buy this $150 piece of equipment to get results. You don't. Let me tell you something. The voice recorder that I use when I do my EVP recordings is a voice recorder that I bought at Walmart 15 years ago for $10. And that is my go-to piece of equipment.
I mean, I'm old school. I use like my dowsing rods. I use my own abilities and stuff like that. And
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to do like a voice recording, I use my cell phone, the camera, and just put it on video and just put it down and record sessions that way. Sometimes it works fine. Oh, James just said you're a trendsetter. James Anito. Yeah.
James will be on my show next week.
Yeah, I got him coming up later on myself. Jesus.
But here's the thing. You don't have to spend a lot of money to be a paranormal investigator. And I think that's where a lot of people get shit twisted because they look at what they see on television.
Yeah.
Not realizing that's not how it actually is. You don't need a K2 meter. I mean, K2 meters are not all that expensive, like $59 on Amazon, roughly.
Yeah.
But you don't need a tri-field meter. Tri-field meters can run you up to $123 roughly with shipping. But you don't need the expensive equipment. Here's the thing. If you're going to buy equipment, understand the equipment that you're buying so you can utilize it to the best of your abilities. Research the equipment first. You don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on equipment when what good is it doing? Because we're sitting here in a world that's technically non-existent to actual science.
And I agree with you. And well, what it does? I mean, it makes you look good when you carry in like 15 different like suitcases and strap down cases and those fancy ones. You know what? But I mean, to me, that's what it looks. It's all for show. Like,
does it make you look good or does it make you look arrogant and stupid?
I was trying to be nice, but I do agree.
I won't be.
I know, but it's it's flashy. Some people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the equipment, and they don't really necessarily need all of that in order to get the solution. No.
I'll be honest with you. When I go into an investigation, there's very few things that I bring. I bring my trusted voice recorder.
Yeah.
I bring a notebook and a pencil or a pen. And I bring my trusted EMF detectors. I have 2 of them that I trust. And my instincts. That's it. That's literally all you need. But if you want to take it a step further, of course, implement cameras. I'm a collector of antique cameras. If you didn't know that, Jeremy.
Wow.
I have an 8mm film camera from like 1977. Film 4 is kind of expensive, but I'm a firm believer in different types of film can capture different kinds of evidence. So I always utilize these. Like I will bring my ejecta film Polaroid. I'll bring my 35mm camera. I'll bring my digital camera. I actually have a digital camera that has a floppy disk drive.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
It wasn't cool when I bought it. I didn't know what the fuck went in the slot.
Well,
took me a bit to figure it out.
I'm actually surprised they still make floppy disks, but then again, I'm not really that technology savvy. So
no, you can still get floppy disks.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know what went into it. Like I was thinking there was like maybe a mini CD. And I tried a mini CD when I'm like, you know what? Upstairs, I might have a floppy disk. And that's literally where the idea came from. I went upstairs and like found a floppy disk, came downstairs, plugged it in, and it said, reading, successful. So for the record, on this floppy disk, it can hold a total of 8 photographs.
Ooh, big time.
Big time.
Jeez. I don't know about that. I mean, I think I take more than 8 pictures a day sometimes,
Right? Big time. But you know what? It's a different aspect. It's a different approach.
I agree. So I wanted to ask you. I want to go in a different direction at the moment, just because that's
That's
how
fine.
I usually work. Would you mind if we talked about the origins of Ian a little bit? Because I got a chance to meet him for the first time, and man, I know you can't talk about him too much because you got some stuff going on. But I wanted to ask you about where you got him from. If you can give a little bit of details. Ian is, if I can give a quick context, is he's a clown doll. He's kind of he's definitely a very strong personality. I actually had a chance to meet him up in Augusta last year at the Paracon, and my God, he made a lasting impression on me for sure.
One
And
of
if
the
could you
one of the
expand upon it a little bit, would be cool.
one of the few people who has had the chance to actually read him.
Danny, damn that clown, LOL.
You know what? I'm sorry. From Danny, that shit speaks volumes.
Oh, my buddy Matt said he gets his best responses from his pendulum, so he uses old school stuff too. But
I like it.
if you could talk a little bit about Ian, I would greatly appreciate that.
No, absolutely. And be honest with you, when I see Danny pop up and say that damn clown, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about Danny Perez, he is like me. He is the 100% skeptic until proven otherwise. So just hearing that comment tells me that this experiment's worth it. But so Ian, I don't know much of his backstory, to be honest.
Or how you acquired him.
Yeah, so I was driving by this house, and I used to live in a different spot, and I drove by this doll, this clown doll that was in this weird built house for probably 3 or 4 weeks. And I finally stopped. I was like, hey, hang on, Dad, stop. Because my father was giving me a ride to work at that time. We were carpooling because we work at the same place. There's no issue, and there's no reason to say 2 cars save gas. And he stopped. I went up there and I knocked on the door. And this 2 adolescent females answered. And I'm like, hey, I have a curiosity for you. You got the clown doll out there by the road. It's been there for several weeks. Like, what are y'all doing with it? And I hear this elderly lady yell from the other room, if he wants that godforsaken fucking thing, he can have it. Should have been my first clue not to take it. But I'm like, okay, no, I'm intrigued. So I went out there and I'm like, well, if she said I could have it, I'm going to take it. So I did not realize that the back door was not latched on it. And when I picked it up, I had it at an angle. And Ian fell out of the case. Now, being a porcelain doll, if you hit face first in the concrete, what should break first?
The face should be gone. Yeah.
No, his foot broke.
Okay.
Don't know why. And before I ever acquired Ian, because I want to bring this up. Jeremy, you know Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan told Danny Perez that she was picking up on something that had to do with a doll with a broken foot. And Danny was like, well, I don't know if I have anything like that in our archive. And she's like, well, I'm just telling you, I see a doll with a broken foot. And this was before I ever got Ian, for the record. But anyways, I put Ian back in the case. I collect all the pieces of his foot, and I bring him home. My daughter comes up from Florida, probably about 5 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And this is where his name comes from, because the ex didn't want him in the house. She was the one who originally told me it was there, for the record. So technically, it's her fault. You don't point shit out to me if you don't want me to bring it home. But she was like, what is that thing doing here?
Yeah.
Well, fuck, you told me it was there, so I brought it home. But my daughter came up, and the ex was at work, and so I brought him inside. She was doing an overnight inventory thing.
Okay.
So I'm like, Danny, we have 24 hours to investigate this fucking doll.
Here, Brendan.
And I set the doll up on the table, which was about 4.5 feet off the ground, roughly. And we ran 5 different applications. So out of 3 of the 5, when I asked what his name was, we got the name Ian.
Oh, wow.
That's where it got its name. That's not a common name, so that's where it got its name. Eventually, we got to the point where we weren't getting any kind of responses. So I'm like, all right, we're just going to go ahead and cut it loose. We're going to bed. We went upstairs. We went to bed. I woke up the next morning and came downstairs. And you've seen Ian yourself
Yes.
personally.
Oh, yeah.
When I came downstairs, the doll was face first on the hardwood floor, and it
Oh,
fell from 4.5 feet.
should have broken again, but didn't break. Yeah.
The doll didn't break, the case didn't break, and no one heard a fucking sound.
Yeah, he definitely has a story to tell, that's for sure. And
I can tell you, I have no explanation for that. and I'm not sitting here trying to promote myself as a guy that owns a haunted object, because I personally don't like taking Ian in my car, so I don't plan on traveling around with him very much. And I'm pretty sure the Perez's don't either after their experiences. So
yeah, I know you guys have something going on, and that's really cool. I can't wait to hear more about that later on when that whole thing is been concluded. You know, that's definitely really amazing. The only reason I brought up Ian is because I always find enchanted objects amazing. The energy, the stories that they tell. You know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get out of them. Sometimes objects resonate with certain people more than others. You know,
it's true.
I mean, I've had amazing interactions with Lauren's like, nope, we don't. It was funny, you know. So you don't you have an amazing. When you first said to me, hey, you want to check out Ian the clown? Like, absolutely, because I love clowns of any kind. I mean, my favorite horror movie is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I make that well known. That
Oh, who doesn't love that movie?
I love anything like that. You know, just different kind of stuff. You know, and it's I found Ian extremely intriguing when I first came in contact with him.
So I will tell you, given Danny's initial response and then what Lauren just said, that tells you,
yeah,
there's something about this particular doll that is not in the norm.
No, they would know. They have more than enough enchanted objects.
I know they did. But that's why this is the person I decided that if I was going to give up Ian, because John Zaffis wants my doll.
Yes, I know. We've had that conversation in private. Hey, Dave, nice to see you, brother. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks for coming on. But no, John Zaffis wants my doll. And I'm like, man, so, you know what? I got to run this experiment first.
Christy wanted to know what your opinion was on the Dybbuk.
Dybbuk, Jewish mythology, you've got this whole ideal of you can conform a demon into a box, right? Do I think that the Dybbuk box that you have seen portrayed through movies such as The Possession or the Dybbuk box that Zach Baggins owned, do I think they're real? It's plausible. I cannot say that if you do not, I guess you could say, put that amount of energy into an object, that it could not happen. Do I think that Dybbuks are real? You know what? That's not my call, because that is a religious aspect, and I don't discuss religious aspects, because every religion has a different ordeal and a different ideal. So, for me, if you believe in it, then you believe in it. If you don't, you don't.
I agree with you, man. The two things that I just don't talk about and won't bring up on this show,
Politics,
thank you very much. Although, you know what? I don't mind discussing perimeters of it, but I don't get into the nitty gritty because I'm not schooled properly in either one of those topics, and I just don't want to. I don't want to. This is going to be a drama-free show. I don't believe in bringing any of that kind of stuff to the board. There's plenty of other places.
You brought the wrong person on your show for the first episode.
Oh, come on now.
No, I'm messing with you.
I know, brother. Trust me.
Going into the Dybbuk box, though, I believe the original owner was a guy by the name of Kevin McManus.
Okay.
And he later came out, I think it was 2 years after Zach got the box, and told the world that he fabricated the story. So here's the thing. If you have the original owner saying that he fabricated the story, was everything that was experienced as far as everyone afterwards, psychosomatic?
Yeah.
It could have been. Or is he claiming that he faked the story because he doesn't want the fame? So you got a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because you know as well as I do, a lot of the TV shows that you see, there's a lot of fluff and circumstance, and they
Oh,
try
for
to
sure.
and they cram 2 weeks of spending time into a 45-minute program and all of that kind of stuff.
No, absolutely, and that is
Money
exactly
making
what it is.
machine. James Neal just said that the Dip It box is a money making machine. LOL. Which is pretty much what you were saying. It's like, if the actual creator of it says that there might not be too much to it, it's kind of hard to go along with it.
So let me rephrase. He was not the creator.
Okay.
He did indeed buy it at a yard sale.
Oh wow.
His
Okay.
mother did indeed have a stroke a week and a half after buying it.
So there could be something to the box. It's just
That's all facts.
Okay.
But as far as the stigma that has come to it based off of what you see in movies and television,
right,
95% of it is incorrect.
Oh, that makes sense. It really, really does.
But that's where you have to go into the realm of paranormal investigating, okay? So you're not just looking at what you're being told. You have to dive deeper. You have to do the research. You have to sit there and Google the objects. Even not even Google. I don't know what else you could use, but I guess Google. But either way, dive deep into what you're looking into, because otherwise you're going to be led astray.
That is true. That really is. And, you obviously want to be as well informed as possible going into any particular situation, when you're dealing with objects of any kind.
For sure.
It's so easy, because you could see something that is just, you think is haunted or enchanted, and it's not. Or you could go to Savers and buy a statue that you think is really cool. Next thing you know, you find out it has crazy energy from somebody who is.
Oh yes.
Trust me, I've walked by a couple of things at Savers the other day, and I was like, I don't think I want that in my house. It's not coming home with me. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I have the opposite effect. I walk by an object, and if it catches my eye, I'm like, you're coming home with me.
Well, if it catches my eye, it's one thing, but I tend not to bring extra energy into the house, if possible.
I'm trying to learn not to do that. Because I have in my closet, I have a kind of a bookcase of stuff that probably has energy attached to it, and I've kind of started to realize that with Morgan coming to stay here and us doing our thing, I don't need to be bringing that kind of energy home.
No, I don't blame him. You guys have a great thing going. You guys will make a great team as far as, she has one side of it, and you definitely have the more analytical mind to the whole entire situation. So
it does clash from time to time. I'm not going to lie.
No, but it's good to have multiple different angles going in towards the same thing, because one can pick up where the other one doesn't pick up on. And I'm looking forward to having Morgan on coming up down the stretch as well on the show.
Oh.
She's a really amazing person.
She's awesome.
And
I can tell you, before our show tonight, we did our first official practice of the week. And so the way we practice is I go and I figure out a location that I want her to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not done in person. It is, I pick out a location, she knows nothing about it, and I want to see what she picks up on. And tonight I chose the H.H. Holmes murder mansion in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And she was fucking spot on.
I've watched that special a couple of times. Yeah, my buddy Dave has a Celtic cross that has a cat spirit attached to it. I've actually, I've seen the actual, shadow cat walking around in their apartment. But, that H.H. Holmes documentary, when you see that and you listen to the document, it's amazing how that whole place was built with the false staircases and the rooms that go nowhere, and the beds that fall into pits, and it's like, my God.
And the way he had certain rooms rigged to put out carbon monoxide.
Oh yeah, gas chamber rooms, basically. Yeah,
it was fucking crazy.
It was.
she picked up on all that, not in the sense of picking up on the gas thing, but she was like, well, I'm in this spot and I feel like I'm dizzy. I can't walk. My arms and my legs feel heavy.
Oh wow.
Name that's textbook.
It really is. I mean, did you ever see that show where they talked about H.H. Holmes possibly being Jack the Ripper and that whole connection?
We actually brought that up.
Yeah, I know we did in previous conversations. My wife and I, we watched that show, and all the way at the end, and
I
there was
think it's
never any
possible.
there was never any conclusive proof, but then there wasn't anything that could say that it wasn't.
No, I think
You
it's possible because if you go back and look at the Jack the Ripper killings, the Jack the Ripper killings ended on November 9th, my birthday. That's the only
Yeah.
reason I remember the date that they ended. But November 10th, there was a ship booked back to America under the pseudonym that H.H. Holmes was known to use.
Oh wow.
I find it kind of weird that a ship with a pseudonym for a person who was known to be a serial killer in the U.S. happened the day after and no other killings happened. And if you go back and look through it, I cannot give you the exact date.
Right.
He arrived in London a week before the murder started happening. And so if you look at it at that aspect, considering the fact that he was surgically trained, he was a medical doctor.
That is very true.
There is nothing saying that H.H. Holmes could not have been Jack the Ripper.
You know, I mean, he did all of his dirty work in America under the guise of the World's Fair back in the day. I mean, it's
the first World's Fair in Chicago.
yeah. I mean, and I just when you see the blueprints of that place, when there's like staircases that go nowhere, and
astounding.
He would hire different teams to come in and build certain spots, and then fire them, and then bring in new ones,
and then have someone else come in to continue.
Yeah, I know it's a weird topic to go on to, but to me, it's just I found it amazing that.
No, it's not a weird topic because, to be honest with you, it's fucking fascinating.
It really is, and
the way that he formulated it in his mind was, if I keep this crew on for the entire build, they're going to catch on. So I'm going to fire the crew after they build X amount and hire another crew. So no one caught on.
Yeah, no, nobody ever did. I mean, it was quite amazing. It really, really was. So,
no one knows how many people died within the murder castle. No one knows.
We don't. We don't. So I want to talk for a second about your show, Paranormal Unveiled. It's you're in season 2 now. Is that correct? Oh yeah, shush, whatever.
It ain't my show. It's your show, brother. We ain't talking about mine.
Well, no, this was part of what made you want to become a podcaster?
Just with you.
I know.
So for me, I never wanted the show at all.
Yeah.
100%. I was completely against it. I went on the show, Bridging the Seen and Unseen with Angie and Shane. And I get a message from Shane, no more than like maybe 10 minutes after. He was like, dude, you need your own show. And I'm like, I don't want it. And he's like, no, you need to do this. And it literally took about 4 to 6 months of convincing between myself, Morgan, Gwen, and Shane, just fucking bombarding me with messages. I'm not going to say bombarding in a bad way, by the way, guys. Like, I respect it. Just, I didn't want a show.
Yeah.
But now I have a show. And let me tell you, like, that's pretty much how it worked out. I went on Bridging the Seen and Unseen with Shane.
Yep.
And next thing I know, he's like, you have to have your own show. And I'm like, I don't want it. And, well, it is what it is now.
And you've had a lot of great episodes, and you've had a lot of tremendous people on, and now you're on season 2, which I think is really, really cool.
No, I love doing it. I'm not going to lie. I love doing it. Like, I love bringing on guests and interviewing them and putting them in the hot seat. Because I'm going to tell you, being here on your show, after doing 40 plus shows now, I've been on over 150 podcasts, so being in the hot seat doesn't bother me, but it's still kind of weird when you're put on the opposite spectrum.
As far as trying to come up with a format of the show and come up with a concept and everything like that.
No, as
Yeah.
far as answering fucking questions.
Oh, see, I don't mind that. I'm getting used to this side of the coin, which is definitely cool. I love the fact, as you know, I was a bundle of nerves for weeks before we got this thing, the whole
No, I
thing
know.
done.
We've had
You
this
know,
conversation, and I told you it was
I
going to go great. It was going to go
I
great.
feel great about it, and man, I love having you on here. And I know how you have a question about, you have like your paranormal all-star team and whatever like that. So I wanted to pose a question that I'm going to start bringing on, and I'm going to give you the first one. I want your Mount Rushmore of horror movie villains.
Horror movie villains. Okay, so we're talking about 4 people because there's 4 people on Mount Rushmore.
Thank you, Gwen.
Are we looking for 1 to 4, or do I have to list them in any specific order?
No particular order. It's just the top, and they can be iconic characters, but I wanted to get your take on it, because
I love it.
horror movies are definitely something that I hold true to myself. So
Number 1 for me, Michael Myers from Halloween, because everyone is so afraid of William fucking Shatner.
That's true.
They don't realize that during the filming of the original Halloween, their budget was so low that they went to a hardware store and bought, which actually that hardware store was featured in the original Halloween, if you didn't know that.
Right.
But they bought a William Shatner mask, gave it a haircut, dyed the hair orange, painted the face white, and now you have Michael Myers. So everyone is so afraid of William Shatner. So Michael Myers, 100% my go-to. Number 2, I think we're gonna have to go with Freddy. I think Freddy is a good number 2. He instills that fear when you're sleeping and you can't control anything. So I think Freddy's a solid number 2. Number 3, Fight Me, Leprechaun.
Okay. Which version of Leprechaun?
Not
Warwick
the fucking
Davis?
one that goes to space.
Well, the Warwick Davis version, or the there's
Warwick
a couple
Davis,
of
100%, 100% Warwick Davis.
Nice.
I'm sorry, any other Leprechaun past Warwick Davis, they can go fuck themselves with a cactus.
Wow, there's the cactus. Okay.
Just saying, because there is no other Leprechaun.
So who are you going to round them out? Who are you going to round it out with, my friend?
I think I'm going to round it out. For me, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, how can you forget Jason Voorhees? How can you forget? For me, I'm going to go with Candyman.
Nice.
I think Candyman, he had that weird persona to where you weren't afraid, but you were afraid.
No, it makes a lot of sense,
And I think that would be my 4.
I totally agree with you, man. I mean, okay, I'm not really a Michael Myers person myself. I would pop Jason in there, and Freddy's obviously my number 1. But and then Jason. For newer guys, Art the Clown, I find amazing.
Yes.
I think, hey, Matt, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. I can't wait to talk to you in a couple of weeks.
How you doing, brother? But here's my thing. How can you add Jason Voorhees into your top 4 when in the original movie, Jason Voorhees was not actually the killer, it was his mother?
Well, I said, hey,
he
Critters
sent the bitch to do his dirty work.
I said your personal top 4.
No, I'm just asking.
I agree with Pamela. I mean, Pamela Voorhees is the original, but to me, there is nothing better than Kane Hodder's Jason. I mean, I have met CJ Graham. I've met a bunch of the other guys before, but to me, Kane Hodder's Jason was amazing because they were just entertaining to watch. Freddy Krueger's my favorite because Freddy Krueger's my favorite because his dialogue is what makes the movies what they are.
Hey, Bill, I see you. Yeah, so actually Kane Hodder, I think it's Ari Lehman, and there's another person. They actually have their own ghost hunting group out in California called the Hollywood Ghost Hunters.
Oh wow. did not know that.
If you did not know that, now you do. There's one other horror movie villain. I cannot remember the guy's name, for the life of me. But yes, so they do indeed.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many great characters you can think of, like Scream. But to me, I mean, some of those movies are great. Some of them aren't. Jigsaw or John Kramer. Tremendous. I love the Saw franchise as well. I mean, I'm a connoisseur of many things.
I like it, but is it great? No, it's not. You could have went back to, like, say, the was it, Demonic Toys, or
well, about Leatherface. I mean, the original Leatherface from the 1974 version.
Oh,
fantastic!
Terrifying.
Anything. There's a huge gap in between. R.A. Mikhailov, yeah. Lauren just put up, R.A. Mikhailov was
Thank you, Lauren.
I think I love talking about horror movies. The reason that I'm not a humongous Michael Myers guy is because that storyline is so busted. It's so hard to even.
Oh, it absolutely is.
You're fishing in deep water, and the fish have been gone for a long, long time. So it's
I agree. The whole reason they continue on the Halloween series, do you know the whole reason behind that?
Money?
No. Mustafa Akkad, the original, I guess you could say story writer. He was the original producer. Mustafa Akkad said he would stop the show at 23 movies.
Okay.
And his son, Malik Akkad, has become the producer of the Halloween movies. So he's carrying on his father's tradition. He plans on stopping at 23. And I'm sorry, as much as I love the Halloween franchise and I love Michael Myers, I love watching motherfuckers get stabbed to death. It's too many.
Somebody asked me, what is the most real horror character to you? I see we got about 2 minutes left, so I want to definitely.
What is the real most horror character to me or you?
To you, I mean, you're the guest. Like, who would you consider the most realistic horror character to you?
I feel like for me it'd be Art the Clown.
I agree.
There are some psychotic motherfuckers out there that would do the shit that he does. It's like that would be my answer.
I agree. I would also consider Leatherface because there are deranged hillbillies that can run around with chainsaws. And honestly, I mean, John Kramer was just a regular guy who helped people try to figure out what was going on. So he was definitely one of the most real characters in the horror franchise.
Facts.
My God, where did the hour go, man? This has been an amazing conversation.
I told you it was gonna go by quicker than what you realized.
So we can definitely start to wrap this guy up by so tell me, like, what so a couple of the events you have going on this year that people know.
So I will be at the New Hampshire Spirits. I can never remember this. They have such a complicated name. Anyways, I will be in Nashua, New Hampshire at the New Hampshire Spirit and something else Speakers Con. I don't remember the name of it, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll be in Vermont at the Vermont Paranormal Monster and Horror Expo.
Oh, wow.
And I will also be at the Bearded Brawl in Broadhead, Wisconsin in June. So I'm trying to remember like I booked so much shit, it's hard to keep track. I should have fucking wrote notes.
It's okay.
No, I don't like it because now I'm making myself look stupid. Because I'm booked for a lot of shit this year. I can't remember it because there's so much.
Lauren said Spirit Seekers. Is that the convention?
Yes, it is. Spirit Speakers Paracon over there in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Oh, wow. You got quite the calendar booked up for sure, no doubt.
I've got, I think, 19 dates booked right now. Could be more. I don't know. Like, I just fucking lose track. Yes, my CRS is fucking superhuman, Gwen. I agree. I know it is. Me and Morgan will talk about something, and then by the time I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We didn't talk about that last night. She's like, yes, we did. I'm like, No, the fuck we didn't. You don't realize, like, I feel like I have early onset Alzheimer's. I might.
Oh man, it's been a great evening tonight, man. I want to say thank you very much for coming on here and joining us in the premiere episode tonight of Twisted Tales. It has been an amazing time to have you on here. Where can people find you on social media if they want to get in contact with you and possibly want to come on your show at some point or something like that?
If you want to contact me, you can find me at Nathaniel Elwell on Facebook. You can contact me at Static Voices on TikTok. My YouTube handle is just the same, Static Voices. Just reach out. If you want to come on the show, I don't mind having you on. Just reach out.
Sweet. Gwen, if you're there, I think it's a great time that we're gonna call it an evening. And thank you, everybody. I want to say thank you from myself and from the great people at All Access Network for having this great show this evening. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you very much. And I'll see you next time.
Next week.
Sounds good. Gwen, you want to take us home? That'd be great.